The best social media profiles include three things. They tell a story of who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. I think these are all very important elements. So people want to work with humans, like editors and and CMEs want to work with people who have that personality. So they're working with a human. They're not working with a writer, a content creator. They're working with you as a person. So you've got to tell that story of who you are. Talk about your unique process. Why, what you do mechanically. What are the ins and outs of your process day to day? Talk about the why. Why do you love the work? Why is it important to you? Why is it valuable to you? And then how you do it, and kind of what it feels like to work with you. What's the onboarding process like? What's the communication process like? What are the deliverables? How are you going to work together with your clients? These are all important elements. It is important, especially on LinkedIn, that your profile is rich in keywords. There's some words and phrases there that could help you surface if people were searching for services like yours. Like if someone was to search for medical writer in LinkedIn, is there a high chance that you land for that? Or if more specifically about the niche that you write within, to check that, ask one of your friends to do a search and see if they find you. I think that's a pretty good initial signal of that it just helps you to develop your presence and identify like, okay, I am a medical writer. This is a niche that I write within. So make sure to include that consistently in your profiles. And most importantly, these are evidence that you as a founder, you as a writer, founder of your business, and as a writer can walk the walk in the work that you do, not just talk the talk. So it's important here that you include recommendations from people that you've worked with previously, that you talk about your experiences, that you give some case studies of working with a particular client, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. I can't emphasize enough that a well-crafted LinkedIn profile literally sells for you as like your personal salesperson 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you establish this the right way, it really can benefit you so broadly in terms of that organic attention that you get and the possibilities that come to you, not just the possibilities that you're pursuing. So the best LinkedIn profiles share a few common elements, elements that encourage people who are visiting your profile to stick with you and continue reading, not just come and do a quick glance and bounce off. As it is on social media, you've got 30 to 45 seconds to grab somebody's attention and convince them that they're in the right place and they should learn more. So it's on you to develop your profile in a way that encourages that to happen. You've got to make your prospects want to learn more, not only about who you are as a person, but why in particular you're the right choice for their unique project. And that, kind of comes back to structure of your profile and the elements that you build out within that profile. It starts with your header image. And I think this is something that so many people don't take advantage of, and it's a massive opportunity. Your header image is that image that's there at the top of your profile. A lot of people don't take advantage of this at all. They just don't use it. Or there's like some kind of a stock photo or some other picture that's kind of unrelated to what they do. Maybe it's just something that they like, or, hopefully they're not using like the blue background that LinkedIn provides. It's like truly the stock image. So take advantage of this. Use this real estate. Tell a quick story about yourself and how you help. Make it easy for people to get in touch with you. Like on mine, you see my name right above my face. So you're making that association. We talk about how we help scaling companies design and activate powerful content strategies and systems. That's what we do as a business. You see my logo, so you're seeing the brand mark for the first time, and that's going to be reiterated over and over again. You've got my website address, and you've got the different elements of what I do. I am a LinkedIn top voice, so I have that there as a bit of social proof. So right there in the first 20 to 30 seconds of somebody visiting my profile, they see everything they need to see in terms of a snapshot of who I am, what I do, how they can get in touch, the different elements of my work, and some social proof that I can walk the walk, not just talk the talk about my business. So take advantage of this. Use it. Please use it. Follow my example if you want to. There's a lot of other great examples out there. If you just kind of go around and do some searching of people that have a good solid network and a good solid following, that you can get some inspiration to do this for yourself. I built this in Canva. Really not too difficult. There's a lot of pre-formatted options within Canva that you can do that. So take the time to build out a nice header image so you've got that and you have that visibility. I think about the about section of your LinkedIn profile a little bit differently than I feel like is taught a lot of times. So typically about sections on LinkedIn profiles are written in this third person voice, and people use these to talk about, kind of how great they are and their accomplishments. And, there's nothing wrong with that. You want to talk about the work you've done and the impact that you've made. But I think a more powerful approach as an alternative, and we'll talk more about this in detail later, is this idea of story flow. And it's speaking directly to your ideal client so they see you as a potential resource and a problem solver. So you see my example here on the right of my about section on LinkedIn. I'm immediately identifying the pain points of my ideal client. I'm going into a little bit more detail about this. So in your case, it would be like CMEs or editors from medical publications or, medical websites that you'd like to write for. You're telling them their problems and what they're facing, maybe some of the other struggles they've had with other medical writers. Then you talk about, how things can be different in your approach. You get into detail about your services. You tell a little bit more about, what you deliver, and then how people can get in touch. So you're literally meeting people where they are. You're telling them, I empathize with you, I see you, and let's go from there. It's a little bit different way to think about your about section instead of like Chris Hughes is the founder of Zanate Ventures based in Austin, Texas. Chris does this, Chris does that, Chris's clients do this. I think you see that a lot of this third person is just a natural shift to a different type of storytelling. Make sure that you're taking the time in every single project to ask for recommendations. It's so, so important. As you're building, your brand and as you market yourself, you really have to make sure to grab those recommendations from the clients that have good experiences with you. It's essential. Don't be afraid. I know it's nervy. To do that, reach out and to ask, could you please write like a 2 or 3 paragraph recommendation for me based on our work together if you enjoy the experience? Or better yet, ask somebody to shoot a quick video about the experience that they had working with you. It's hard to do. It's a little nervy, but the more often that you do it, the better you'll get at it and the more comfortable you'll get with it. And honestly, what's the worst that can happen? If somebody says, no, I'm not really comfortable doing that, then okay, that's okay. A lot of times what will happen and what I've encountered often is, my clients will say, well, I don't really have the time to sit down and write that myself, but could you give me some bullet points and I'll take those bullet points and flesh those out and give those back? Absolutely. Happy to do that because I want that recommendation. So you need to gather those and share as much evidence as possible from people who've had great experiences working with you. You can show those in your featured section. Maybe share them straight up in social posts as well, especially on LinkedIn. You'll see this occasionally, but I don't think people do it often enough because as you're talking in your content on LinkedIn about, or other places about what you do and how you do it and the kind of transformational experience that you deliver for your clients when you work with them, you've got to show proof of that too in your clients' own voices. So that way you're telling that story and then that's solidified and it's driven home when you share that and you see the testament from people recommendations from people that, yeah, that's the case. So do this, make it a priority after every single project. If you've got a good gut feeling about how it went, ask for the testimonial. If you're told no, it's okay. But you're never going to know, you're never going to collect these unless you ask. And they're so, so important as you continue to market your business, especially as you're building your portfolio and you can add those to your portfolio. Some great opportunities there.